First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
An attack on a South Carolina woman prompts colleges to urge students caution among using ride-sharing apps like Uber. Good evening, I'm Raquel Likuski.
And I'm Mariana Larson. Safety is especially important on nights you're out partying. WUFT's Elena Moore brings us advice from the Gainesville Police.
When it comes to ride-sharing safety, Gainesville Police suggest extra caution if you're out late partying. It starts with marking your pickup location in a place with a lot of people.
Definitely no isolations, no dark alleys, no dark streets. Make sure that it's a very well-lit area.
Uber does do a basic background check on all their drivers. After booking, users can see a driver's photo, name, cell phone number, and their car's make, model, and tag number. When getting picked up by an Uber, you can always check their license plate to make sure it's your car. You can also ask for their name, and if you're still not sure, Uber provides a picture of your driver just to double check. However, they do not require drivers to put an Uber sticker on their windshields. Former Uber driver Pablo Casalemas says he drove for Uber almost 3 years and was never required to identify his car with a sticker.
When I first started, this was never an issue and nobody really felt safety concerns, but I think, as time went on, things started to happen.
Casalemas suggests to follow along as you're riding in the car.
Obviously, you would want to check maps and make sure that they're going in the right direction, right? And if they're going in the wrong direction, then you know something's wrong.
GPD's Gonzalez says if you start to feel unsafe, contact a friend and ask the Uber to pull over.
If they still charge you for the ride, it's better to lose the $5, the $4, whatever the ride would cost you, than to get in a car that you're not sure.
For your help to identify a thief who was caught on camera. A man broke into a home on Southeast 100th Street in Ocklawaha and stole a pair of Bose noise-canceling headphones. The robber was caught on video, which shows the man wearing a hat and blue gloves, unplugging a television. If you have any information, call Marion County Crime Stoppers at 352-368. President Trump says he's cutting aid to 3 Central American countries, and he's thinking about basically closing the southern border. NBC's Blaine Alexander has the latest.
Today, new orders from the Trump administration, reassigning hundreds of Customs and Border Patrol personnel to deal with the highest number of migrant border crossings in more than a decade, according to the agency.
I'm not playing games.
It follows a threat by President Trump to close the southern border this week unless Mexico does more to stop migrant crossings into the U.S. Experts say that could deal a huge blow to the U.S. economy.
Mexico is the third largest trading partner for the U.S. after China and Canada. One of the biggest product categories specifically that the U.S. gets from Mexico, beer and wine and snack foods. If we get fewer of those or the prices go up, that's something that you could feel pretty soon.
The president tweeting, Homeland Security is being so nice, but not for long, urging Congress to fix what he calls a major national emergency, something long disputed by Democrats.
This is an administration led, obviously, by the president that only knows how to use government to create chaos and to create problems instead of solving problems.
The president also announcing plans to cut off aid to 3 Central American countries, Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras, the origin of many asylum-seeking families. Democrats say cutting aid is counterproductive, and even some Republicans not on board.
Look, I don't mind threats. Frankly, I think you have to get people's attention. But at the end of the day, do I think it's wise to rescind the aid? No, because I think that stabilizes those regimes to some degree.
Democrats say they will fight the president's plan in Congress. Blaine Alexander, NBC News, Washington.
This year is now the second most since 2000, when the disease was thought to be eliminated from the U.S. A total of 387 individual cases have been confirmed in 15 different states so far this year. The CDC says 1 dose of the measles vaccine, known as the MMR vaccine, is about 93% effective if you come into the contact with the virus. The typical measles symptoms include high fever, rash, stuffy nose, and reddened eyes. Experts say that you're more likely to see snakes this time of year in Alachua County. WUFT's Maggie de Rosieres spoke to an expert about how to deal with them.
Wild animals can be unpredictable even when you're an expert. That's why Chase Pirtle makes sure to take necessary precautions at all times, especially with venomous snakes.
We use tools and tools. When you see people and they're picking up the snakes and they're free handling the snakes, that's, it's no bueno. That is not okay in today's world in terms of when we go to a property to remove a snake, we're very professional, we're very safe, and safety protocol is #1 when it comes to snake removal.
Pirtle says many people misinterpret a snake's defensive tactics as acts of aggression.
And these snakes are simply, in the wild just trying to avoid people and live their lives.
Since we are currently in a wet cycle, more snakes are resting on the outer banks of bodies of water, including retention ponds. The most reported snake is the water moccasin, but Pirtle says part of that is misidentification, and he's finding more non-venomous snakes. I'm standing here with Hawkeye, a gray rat snake who is non-venomous. There are only 5 venomous species in Alachua County and 6 in the state of Florida. Very few people are licensed to relocate venomous snakes, so many pest companies either refuse to deal with them or have to kill them on site. Jake Swisher is a recent graduate from Santa Fe Teaching Zoo and is working to get his license to work with venomous snakes.
They're much more concerned about self-preservation. Their instinct is survival and not, attacking.
Pirtle says there are things you can do to help keep snakes off your property.
You can mesh in your backyard with chicken mesh. You can clear wooded areas around your house. That way you clear the area from rodents. You can, not have food outside, which also attracts rodents. Usually when you have snakes, it means you're attracting the snakes in some manner.
Pirtle doesn't charge to remove snakes because he wants to make sure no snakes are killed unnecessarily. But for relocation, he has to find a suitable place within a half mile. He's counting on better education to help people and snakes coexist.
Once again, I'm glad they're working to get that issue under control. I'm not a snake fan. Thanks for joining us. The PBS NewsHour is coming up at 7.
And remember, your Florida news is always on at WT.org. Have a good night.